Morning, guys. One of the greatest things I've learned in my life, and I want to share this with you in case you are going through a very difficult time right now. Our difficulties, our struggles, our pains, our challenges, all that darkness, that is where we find out what we're made of, why we were born. See, we were born in darkness. We were born in the womb. We came out of nowhere, and we are miracles, but we have to remember that. And the reason why we are miracles and we are meant to live with purpose is because we have that energy, that determination that will not stop. If we make that decision to take whatever is happening to us and change the way we think and what we do about it. So, whatever you're going through right now, if you're going through a really tough time, a dark time, a challenging time, I want you to remember your determination, it's meant to come out of your darkness. Have a great day, everyone.
Now I reached the point where I'm really okay exactly where I am.
Comparing yourself to others is actually fantastic.
Everybody that I had on the show, at the end of the show, would say something to me like, was that okay?
Rise and shine, it's espresso time. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person. I'm not. But when you start your day off with a powerful routine that inspires you for success, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of espresso from Oprah Winfrey.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
What about something that you feel like you've personally achieved or overcome? Is there something that you are especially proud of yourself for?
Yeah, I'm especially proud of myself for not living in the world of comparisons. You know, years ago when I pulled out that wagon of fat, I was actually comparing myself to everybody else, or what I thought you're supposed to look like, or what size you're supposed to be. So I've now reached the point where I'm really okay exactly where I am. And that's, you know, it's taken me a lifetime practically to figure that out.
And
being okay exactly where you are.
Because comparing is a dangerous
It's so
thing.
hard because we are in the world of insta comparison, you know? And so the real spiritual practice is to like live from within and not let the world define who you are, but you do that for yourself. That's the hardest work.
I think comparing yourself to others is actually fantastic. I think most people aren't even doing it enough. The challenge is people do it incorrectly. The problem is people compare themselves to others as a way to kick themselves down. You look at somebody else who's done a lot more than you, and you say, wow, they're so much better than me. I can never do it. And that's kicking yourself down. What you need to do, you flip it and say, wow, that person has done so much. That's what's possible. I'm comparing my beginning to their middle or to their end, which is an unfair comparison. They can get there, therefore I can go chase my dreams down as well. That's a kick forward. Most people kick themselves down. What you need is to kick forward. But without the kick, you stay stuck. So if you want to stay exactly where you are, don't compare yourself to anybody. You want to move forward, compare yourself in a loving way forward. This is a classic story of Roger Bannister, who broke the 4-minute mile, where it was supposed to be impossible to break the 4-minute mile. Nobody was ever supposed to be able to do it. And then he did it. And everybody thought your body would break down and that it just would never, ever, ever happen. And then Roger Bannister did it. And then what happened? Lots of other people did it. High school kids did it. People around the world have done it. Why? Because they saw somebody else do it.
Hello, everybody. Anton Curley here from dropshiplifestyle.com. And before you click the skip ad button and move,
when you can compare yourself to somebody else and see that they can do it, that can be the inspiration to move yourself forward. Again, the kick forward. If you just look at that and say, wow, he's superhuman, I can never do it, then you're right, you stay stuck. But some people, the people who go off and win, the people who also have a happier life, look at that and say, I can do something similar. And people did. I actually heard about that Roger Bannister story through Les Brown. And when people ask me, who is my favorite motivational speaker, or who do you think is the greatest speaker of all time? I say Les Brown. I don't know who touches Les Brown. I mean, there's so many great speakers, so many amazing people out there. I've had the good fortune of connecting with a lot of them. But man, Les Brown, when he gets on a tear, it's something different. He takes you to a different world. And I remember when I first heard him, it's like, holy cow, this guy is so good. And it was at the start of my career of filming videos and making content. And I thought, how does he know those scripts, and how does he memorize those lines, and how does he just speak for an hour and not need notes or a PowerPoint or anything else? Like, this man is crazy. It's impossible. I could never get that good. And I used to compare myself in a negative way. Like, I could never be Les Brown. And then somewhere along the line, I flipped it to say, hey, I'm getting better. And I love what Les is doing, because he's actually guiding the industry, because it's actually showing what's possible. That if he can do it, then I can do it too. He's actually paving the way for people like me to come up and be speakers as well. And I actually had the good fortune of last week being on a Facebook Live with him, where he was interviewing me about my story. Like, what? Les Brown is interviewing me about my story? It's crazy. How did this happen? Because I used him as an inspirational kick forward. See, if you never see anybody who's like you doing it, it's really, really hard to get up and do. If you're the only person that you know in your family, and the only person that you know in your community, and the only person that you see online anywhere trying to do the thing that you want to do, it's really, 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 really hard to stay motivated. But when you can see somebody else, when you can model success, when you can have an example to follow, I think that makes the path easier, because it gives you more hope, knowing that it's possible. The trick is, again, the key is, again, that in the comparison to somebody else, you're kicking yourself forward to say that's what's possible, not down to say I suck. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you 3 steps I think will really help. Step number 1 is really get clear on what is it that you want. What is the life that you want? What are the goals that you have for yourself? Where do you want to be in your health, in your relationships, in your business, your finances? What do you actually want out of life? Not what somebody else's perfect life looks like. Right? You go on Instagram and you see people living on the beach and rolling around in money. Like that, maybe that's what you want, but maybe it's not what you want. Right? We get pulled into all these different directions because we don't have clarity over what we actually want. So what do you actually want? What do you want out of life? Where do you want your business to be? What kind of company do you want to run? What are the ethics and morals that your company is based off of? Who do you want to serve, and how do you want to help them? How do you want to show up in your relationship? Who are you looking for in your partner? If you already have a partner, how do you want to show up better for them? All of the things that matter to you, to get as clear as possible, so that when you see somebody else is doing something else and they're happy, great. You don't have to go do it because you're happy chasing down your goals. Part of the challenge is we see other people who are happy, and often it's not even real happiness. It's just, fake happiness for the camera. But you see somebody who looks happy, you know that you're not happy, and you think, well, maybe if I did that, then I'll be happy. Maybe if I go write a poem like they did, I'll be happy. And then you start to write a poem and realize I hate writing poems, right? So it's getting clear over what do you actually want in your life? Who's the person that you want to be? And again, from your finances to your business, to the relationships, to your to health, the different areas of your life. Get as clear as you can on the things that you want out of your life. Step number 2 is figure out who's done it. Who's ahead of you in these things. One of the greatest lessons I've ever learned is that you can model success. That when you don't know what to do, somebody has done this before you. Somebody has figured this out. You don't have to come up with every genius idea yourself. This is the thing that ended up growing my business, my first company. When I wanted to quit on my business partner, I tried so many different things on my own, and they never seemed to work. But once I had a model, once I had a mentor, once I had a guide, once I had a path to follow, it became so much easier, and I got success. Or looking at my YouTube channel, spending 5 years on my own trying to figure stuff out. Then once I got my agent who gave me some coaching on being better on camera, my channel started to take off, right? So without the model, I really struggled. With the model, I did really well. So for all the areas of your life that you want to fix, who's done it? And here's the key. There's no one person who's done everything. I've got all these people behind me on the wall. This is me here when I'm 8 or 9 years old, and my parents behind me. And then I've got different people on my wall for different things. If I look at being a good father, right? I've got a 12-year-old son. How do I be a great father? I want to be a great father like my dad is. And I don't want to be a great father like Steve Jobs is, because it didn't sound like he was a great dad. He had a lot of other great things. He was a great visionary, and I want to be a great visionary like Steve Jobs, but my father's not really a great visionary. So you're pulling different things from different people. One of the mistakes we make is you're looking for the perfect mentor to teach you everything. And when they have one flaw, we suddenly feel cheated or gypped or ripped off or deflated. Nobody's perfect. We're all in search of our own perfect life. And you'll be able to get that by pulling different people for different things. So once you've made your list of all the things that you want out of your life, then go find your different mentors and role models for those things. If you want more belief in your life, great. Watching my channel is probably going to really, really help you. If you want more fitness in your life, great. There's other channels you can subscribe to, right? If you want a better loving relationship, great. There's other channels you subscribe to for that, or books or podcasts that you can be around. That the more that you're around it, the more that it's part of your environment, you're going to start to take those messages in, and it's going to become a part of you. You're going to think the way those people think, and you're going to get closer to actually achieving those goals. And then step number 3 is do something today. Do something today. We get trapped into overthinking and over-preparing and having the perfect schedule and the perfect plan. And it almost never works out, right? Your plan for what you were supposed to do a year ago is not the plan that you're doing right now. The perfect plan that you're trying to concoct in your head will never actually be the perfect plan until you get out there and you start executing and trying. So the biggest thing that you can teach yourself is just start building momentum. Start taking some immediate action. You've created a list of all the things that you want out of your life. You've identified your role models of who you want to learn from to help you go get it. And now 3, you got to do something about it. You got to take some kind of action on it. If you've got a health goal, great. Do 4 push-ups. Maybe you can only do 2. Do 2 push-ups. Great. Some of you might be laughing. Say only 2 push-ups. Great. Do 20 push-ups. Do 100 push-ups. It doesn't matter. Is it the perfect fitness plan? No. Will it actually help you build your muscles? No, not from those 2 push-ups. But what does it do? It starts the ball rolling. It starts to rewire your brain to tell yourself that you're the kind of person who takes action. And that makes a big, 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 big difference. Because what's going to happen tomorrow is you're more likely to wake up and do it again. Because you've already started to teach yourself that you're the kind of person who follows through. Where if you just research and create a plan, tomorrow you're going to wake up and probably do no push-ups. Because you realize, oh, that was a silly plan. I can't do that. You're back to who you used to be. And then you don't follow through. So the most important thing, once you identify, you get a little bit of clarity, is to take some immediate action, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant it may feel. You want to build a YouTube channel? Great. Pull out your phone, make a video. What are you going to say? It doesn't matter. Say, I'm working on starting a YouTube channel. I don't know what I'm going to post, but I hope you join me in this journey. Great. Post. The first step doesn't matter how big it is. All that matters is that you took a step. Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to take some action. But when you watch a video, you get motivated and you create a specific plan of action, that number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of you following through. And when you publicly commit to other people, like leaving a comment down in this video, your number jumps to 95% chance of you actually following through on the plan you set for yourself. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Leave it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for the habit to stick. That's what I want for you. So I've designed a custom free program where I'm going to send you an unlisted video for the next 254 days to shift your confidence and belief forward. The link to join is in the description below.
Your number one job is to become more of yourself. They think that success is supposed to happen like that.
Do you sometimes find the fear of what could happen is making nothing happen in your life?
Become so skilled, so vigilant, so flat out fantastic at what you do, that your talent cannot be dismissed. I'm going to continue developing shows that speak to the humanity of people in a way that makes them want to live better and do better, and that exalts their victories and lets them know that they are important and meaningful in the world. You know, I would have to say that every day, David, that show was it was like therapy for me, kind of like now. Every day the show was, I paid attention. So I've never been to a therapist, but I paid attention all those days on the show. And I made therapy acceptable for a lot of people who thought, not me, not. So one of the things I started to get around mid to late 90s is that everybody that I had on the show at the end of the show would say something to me like, was that okay? Was that okay? How was that? Was that okay?
Right.
At the end of the interview. And I started to then track it. It didn't matter if it was, I had gone and done a show where I was in a prison and I was interviewing a father who was in jail for life for murdering his twin daughters. And at the end of the interview, even behind bars, he said to me, is that okay? How'd I do? And Barack Obama said it when he sat in the chair the first time, and George Bush said it, Beyonce said it at the end of her, she taught me how to twerk and then said, is that okay?
Right. So that's an acquired skill, do you think? Right?
Yes, a working thing. But this is what I learned sitting in that chair for 25 years, that at the end of the day, whether you are interviewing me or I get to interview you, whatever your profession is, wherever you are in your life, in your relationships, every person that you encounter, every experience, the person wants to know, was that okay? Was that okay? And what I started to hear was that what people are really saying is, did you hear me? Did you hear me? And did what I say mean anything to you? And so I started to listen with that in mind, with that intention of validating that you're being here, you're speaking to me, you're taking the time to do this with me is important because you matter. And that's true for everybody who's watching or listening, that every argument that you ever have, every encounter, the person just wants to know, did you hear me? Did you see me? And did I say anything that mattered?
There's a bigger dream.
legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Deep, long breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that power of you controlling your breathing. That power that's available to you all the time, wherever you are in life. That power to reconnect to your greatest gift right now, your presence, your being. Your infinitely intelligent being. The same stuff we're all made of. And with that stuff that we're made of, we can control the most powerful supercomputer in the universe. Your mind. But only you can do it. Only you can control your own mind. So let's do that right now, and let's see the future. Today, our time together, let's see ourselves doing the best we can on every single exercise and stretch. For this is not only the gym that we have available to us right now, in this space wherever we are, but it is also the gym of life, where we grow our minds all the time. Good morning, determination. How's everyone doing today? Another great day. Wherever we are, today for myself, I'm indoors. Maybe you yourself are indoors as well too. Well, wherever you are, let's go. Let's make this the best gym period we've ever had. It may not be exactly where we want to be. We may not be in school or at work where we really want to be, but wherever we are right now, let's do this to the best of our ability. Here we go, determination, here we go. When I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot for 1 minute. Ready, and go. And as always, we're thinking about our breathing, focused on our breathing. Feeling that power of us always being able to control our breath. Even when our heart starts beating faster, whether it's through exercise, whether it's through something stressful, something maybe we might be afraid of or we don't like, we get to control our breathing. The same way we get to control our thoughts. And our thoughts affect our feelings. So if we can control our thoughts, we can control our feelings. Almost there, everyone, almost there. Keep going. Keep going, determination, keep going. And stop. All right. You can walk on the spot, or you can walk side to side as you recover your breathing. Always feeling that power of you controlling your breathing. This is the best. What we have right now, wherever you are, you've got your mind and your body in the gym of life. And you get to be your best right now on whatever stretches, exercises we're about to do together. Here we go. Here we go, determination. That's why I love gym. Gym is the best. Roll your mind in the gym of life. Here we go. Let's do 10 shoulder rolls forward. Ready, everyone? Here we go. The best 10 shoulder rolls forward ever. Still controlling our breathing. Shoulders all the way up and around as high as we can towards our ears. And backwards. Again, feel the power of you controlling your body right now. In these simple movements, simple motions, you get to control your body. The way you control your mind, same way. Alright, and let's do arm circles forward, everyone. Arm circles forward, 10 big ones forward. Feeling the joy of our arms moving through space. Alright, and backwards. Excellent. Alright, everyone, let's put our hands on our hips, bend the knees, and side stretch. There we go. 5 on each side. Alright, and let's twist our bodies. Here we go. Feet flat on the floor. 5 on each side. Really thinking about what we're doing. Really trying to feel every part of our body as it's moving in space. Alright, good. Okay, let's do 5 push-ups together. Here we go. 5 push-ups. Best 5 push-ups. Again, if you got to keep your knees on the ground, that's okay. Just do your best, always. And 5 sit-ups. Excellent. And staying up. 5 squats. Here we go. Body straight ahead, looking straight ahead. All the way down. All the way up. Alright. Let's do 3 lunges on each side. Here we go. Arms out. Still controlling our breathing. Alright, and let's do 10-second plank. Belly's knees off the ground. Again, feeling the joy of you pushing your body a little bit outside its comfort zone. Because you know that's where the growth is. Alright, everyone, and standing up. Reach for the ceiling on your toes. Or the sky if you're outdoors. Today I happen to be indoors. If you're outdoors, reach for that sky. If you're indoors, reaching for that ceiling. We may not touch it yet, or ever, but we're going to reach, we're going to strive. Just like we do in life, no matter what. Okay, now reach for your toes. Again, it's okay if you don't touch your toes, but keep your knees straight. Reaching for your toes. Feeling the pull on the back of your leg. Not the pain, just a little bit of a pull. Alright, come on up. And let's balance. Grab one leg, find that balance, bend the other knee. Well done, everyone. Keep going. Keep thinking about what you're doing right now. And switch. Again, feel the pull on the front of the thigh. Bend the other leg. Find that balance. If you lose it, just try to work hard to get it back and then hold it there. Excellent. Alright, now let's hug our knee. Here we go, all the way up. And try to steady that other foot on the ground. Bend the knee if you have to and pull all the way up. Hold it for 10. Always working hard to find that balance. Where we balance our thoughts, our mind, balance our bodies, wherever we are in space. Alright, and switch. Just always think of safety too. Make sure you have enough space, clearance around you, in case you do lose your balance. Hold it there. Well done. Okay, good. And let's sit down, everybody. And reaching for our toes, straight knees again. Reaching is what matters. If you don't get to your toes, that's okay as long as you're reaching. Feeling the pull on the back of your legs. Not the pain, just a little bit of a pull. Okay, V shape with your legs. Now reach for the floor as far away from your body as you can. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Okay, now reach for one side and hold it there again. Always thinking about the moment, thinking about what we're doing right now. Experiencing the joy of being able to reach for something to help our bodies get better. And switch the other side. See, you can do this almost anytime, any place. You can work on your mind and your body wherever you go in life, in everything you do, not just in exercise and stretches. All right, here we go. And let's do feet together. Gently push your knees down with your elbows and hold it there for 10 seconds. If you feel your breathing going on autopilot or becoming automatic again, take control of that. Deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. One leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can. Hold it there. 10 seconds. And switch to the other side. Knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can. Always remembering that you are the boss of your mind, and your mind is the boss of your body. That makes you the big boss. You get to control yourself. You get to use your determination no matter what. All right. And let's roll onto our bellies and push the floor. Looking up at the ceiling. Cobra stretch. Here we go. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feeling that nice stretch in our lower back, neck, back of our arms. All right, and legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Taking deep, long breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now, activating that third eye, that mind's eye that we all have. We can't see it, but we know it's there. So use your mind's eye right now to see yourself doing the best you can today when that music goes on whatever 2 exercises, stretches you've chosen to do. For me, today I'm going to be holding the push-up position for one song, the first song, and then I'm going to be holding the squat position for the second song, as long as I can. And if I happen to let go or not be able to hold it, I'm going to continue on until that song's over. What about you? You can put on your own 2 songs today, and you can do your own exercises. But think about which exercises you're going to do right now, safely within the space you have. You can do what I'm doing. You can listen to what I'm listening to, or you can choose your own. But whatever you do, determine right now, see in your mind what you will do when that music goes on. All right, determination, here I go, holding the push-up position, and let's go, whatever you're doing, whatever you've decided, let's see it, let's see your best, here we go together, let's go, determination, let's go. Looking forward to being better than we were last time, a little bit more than last time. see if I can hold it for the whole song. Let's see. Wasn't able to do it last time we did this together. Or the last time I did it on my own, but I'm gonna work at it right now. Because I love the process of trying to get better at something. Whether it's building strength in my body, building strength in my mind, working on creating nothing but positive images, thoughts, visions in my mind, working on being the best human being I can be. What about you? What is it for you? Whatever it is, just enjoy the process of learning, growing together, whatever we're doing. And sometimes we're going to feel that discomfort. Like right now, I can already feel my muscles already uncomfortable. But then I can feel my determination saying, I get to determine whether I'm going to stop or keep going, no matter what. You too, let's go, determination, let's go. Alright. Didn't get through the whole song, but I'm going to get right back at it again. Song's not over, gotta keep going. There we go, shaking it up. Not being mad that we didn't get to where we want to be yet, but feeling happy that we get to go at it again. Here we go. Always thinking about our breathing. Always thinking about finishing strong, no matter what. Always going right to the end, finishing what we set out to do, no matter what. Got more in me. I know I got a little bit more. We gotta keep going. You too, whatever you're doing, keep going. Determination, keep going. Let's go. It's not over yet. The song's still playing. Focus on that breathing. Good air in. Bad air out. There we go. Another round. I love it. I love the process of building our true great self through exercising our bodies and our minds together. Oh, that's the next song. All right. Time for some squats. Holding the squat position. What about you? What are you going to do next? Let's go, determination. Here we go. Ready? All right. If you're doing what I'm doing, just try to keep your feet flat on the floor, looking straight ahead, going as far down as you can, your bottom towards the ground, and holding it there as long as you can until that music's done. Because our music, you know the truth, our music's never done. Our energy, our determination is built to last, to get through anything. Let's go, determination, let's go. If you're sweating, that's good. Feel your body releasing some of that fluid, some of that old fluid, and water. Make sure you drink lots of water when we're done. Make sure you always fill your body with good food. All right. And here we are again. Back to where it all begins. that source, that oneness, that consciousness, that awareness. That we know is in all of us. That power to determine, to control our minds. You see, nobody else, nothing else in this universe can do what you do every day. In the gym of life. Only you, human being, only you, infinitely intelligent being, can do the ultimate. Only you can control your mind, your thoughts, and therefore your feelings. But it takes a lot of hard work. It takes, first of all, believing that you can do it. If you don't believe in yourself, your mind health, your chance at mind wealth is not possible. But that's not the way it was meant to be. You were born to win. Control over your mind, your thoughts. To have and be all you were meant to be. And that means believing 100% in who you really are. And that is the key to your mind health and your mind wealth, your happiness, your freedom, your success, your infinite peace and love towards everything and anything. It's possible. It's all because of you, your determination, united with all of our determination, creates that oneness, that consciousness, determination. And that's why I love you, determination, wherever you are. I miss you, I miss being in your presence, but here today, we united. We enjoyed this process fully. And the way we do or did this is the same way we can do anything, including being the best for all those around us, wherever we are right now. So keep going, determination. Keep working on controlling your mind. Because that's for all your health, mind health, your happiness, your freedom, all your love. It can never be taken away. I love you, everyone. Have a great week. Until the next time.
Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is bonus day 5, and we're going to learn from the third richest person on the planet at the time of this recording, with a net worth of $151.4 billion, Mr. Elon Musk.
Certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit. And that is a really difficult thing to tell. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
You know? So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis. I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week.
Gosh,
And then
a lot of work.
All those things improve the odds of success.
Okay.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
This is widely regarded as one of the most robotics-driven auto assembly lines on the planet.
Elon, part of the thing I heard about the Model 3 is that there's too many robots. That maybe
I agree.
you think so too? That maybe you need more people in here working.
We do.
In some cases, the robots actually slow the production. Right?
Yes, they did.
We had this crazy complex network of conveyor belts, and it was not working. So we got rid of that whole thing.
This is cool, Elon.
Yeah.
Realizing it needed an overhaul, Musk personally took over the Model 3 production line at the beginning of April.
They're aiming for really extreme levels of precision, more than any other vehicle in the world.
He says he has resorted to pulling all-nighters at the plant.
When things get really intense, I don't have time to go home and shower and change, so I just sleep here.
I want to see. Where is that?
Yeah, so
I
in this
wanna see.
conference room. I mean, it's pretty boring overall, really.
It's actually cold in here too.
Yeah, I like it cold.
So you like it cold?
I sleep on the couch over there.
So you're just laying here on the couch?
Yeah. Last time I was here, I actually slept literally on the floor because the couch was too narrow.
Yeah, I was going to say. And Elon, I have to say, it's not even a comfortable couch either.
No, it's terrible. This is not a good couch.
Musk feels like all the overtime is paying off, and now he says the Model 3 line is back on track.
And we're able to unlock some of the critical things that were holding us back from reaching 2,000 cars a week. But since then, we've continued to do 2,000 cars a week.
Do you think that this is sustainable? This pace is sustainable?
Yeah.
You need to work, depending upon how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. So what does super hard mean? Well, when my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hot up we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time. And I sort of briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she had to sleep in the office. So work hard, like every waking hour. That's the thing I would say particularly if you're starting a company. And I mean, if you do simple math, say like, okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company. And generally, you want to embark on something. It's desirable to figure out if success is at least one of the possibilities.
Right, exactly.
Because for sure, failure is one of the possibilities.
Yes.
But ideally, you want to try to bracket it and say success is in the envelope of outcomes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite sure if that was the case. I mean, I think success on an academic level would have been quite likely because you can publish some useless paper, and most papers are pretty useless.
We have a few. Don't take offense. Sorry.
I mean, how many PhD papers are actually used by someone ever? I mean,
no, that's a good point.
Percentage-wise, it's not good. Yeah. So it could have been one of those outcomes where you add some leaves to the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that leaf is nope, it's not possible.
Right.
Like,
right.
There goes 7 years of my life. So that was one path, and I was prepared to do that. But then the internet came along, and I was like, okay, the internet. I'm pretty sure success is one of the possible outcomes, and it seemed like I could either do a PhD and watch the internet happen, or I could participate and help build it in some fashion. Like I just couldn't stand the idea of watching it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's so I decided put things on hold and start an internet company. And that was kind of we worked on internet, like publishing software, maps and directions, yellow pages, kind of things.
If you think about a company is a group of people that are organized to create a product or service. That's what a company is. So in order to create such a thing, you have to convince others to join you in your effort. And so they have to be convinced that it's a sensible thing, that that there's at least some reasonable chance of success, and if there is success, that the reward will be commensurate with the effort involved. So I think that's getting people to believe in what you're doing and in you is important. So in the beginning, there will be few people who believe in you or in what you're doing, but then over time, as you make progress, the evidence will build, and more people will believe in what you're doing. So I think it's a good idea when creating a company to have a demonstration, or if it's a product, to have like a good mock-up, or even if it's software, to have good demoware, or to be able to sketch something so that people can really envision what it's about. Like try to get to that point as soon as possible, and then iterate to make it as real as possible, as fast as possible.
We really tried hard to convince a lot of companies. Honestly, I was in so many panels, but they generally the sentiment that was expressed that you mentioned earlier, that was pretty much universal. Especially back in, say, 2008 or 2007, like when we first unveiled the Roadster in 2007. Yeah, I mean, it was just basically, they just said, well, you're basically a bunch of fools. Well, I mean, generally they would say like, well, starting a car company is crazy. You're going to lose all your money. I was like, I think I probably will lose all my money. I agree. It wasn't like I thought it would be successful. I thought we had maybe a 10% chance of success. So then people would say, it's going to fail and you're going to lose everything. I was like, yeah, probably true. Yeah. What else is new?
I don't have a mentor per se, although I try to get feedback from as many people as possible. So I have like friends, and I ask them to, what they think of this, that, and the other thing. And, as mentioned, Larry Page is a good friend of mine. Value his advice a lot. And I have many other good friends. And so I think it's good to solicit feedback, and particularly negative feedback, actually, because, obviously people don't love the idea of giving you negative feedback, unless it's like some, on blogs they do that.
If you want to do something really innovative, you have to apply a sort of first principles analysis, and don't reason by analogy. Analogies are referencing the past. So first principles means you look at the most fundamental truths in a particular arena, and the things that really are almost indisputably correct, and you reason up from there to a conclusion. And if you see that conclusion is at odds with what people generally believe, then you have an opportunity. Now, you can't operate like that on all things because it takes too much mental horsepower. So most of your life you have to operate by reasoning by analogy. But if you really want to innovate, you must reason from first principles to identify the problem. It is definitely true that, maybe there are occasionally companies that get created where there's not an extended period of extreme pain. But I'm not aware of very many such instances.
Yeah.
But I do think that new great entrepreneurs are born every day.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to see amazing companies get built. But I would definitely advise people who are starting a company to expect a long period of quite high difficulty. You want to make something beautiful. You want to trigger whatever fundamental aesthetic algorithms, or like in your brain, you have, I think, some intrinsic elements that represent beauty, and that trigger the emotion of appreciation of beauty in your mind. And I think that these are actually relatively consistent among people. I mean, not completely. Some people not everyone likes the same thing, but there's a lot of commonality, but I think it is important to combine aesthetic design with functionality. Like the thing that's like, if you say like what was really hard about, say, the Model S or the Model X, was to combine aesthetics and utility. So to balance the two. You can make a car look very good by giving it sort of certain proportions, like making it sort of low and slim, but if you do that, the utility is significantly affected.
I had a lot of friends of mine try to talk me out of starting a rocket company because they thought it was crazy, and one friend of mine made me watch a video of rockets blowing up. And there were just lots of people that thought it was a really crazy idea, and there was some people that had tried to start rocket companies, not succeeded, and they tried to talk me out of it. And but the thing is that the premise for talking me out of it was, well, we think you're going to lose the money that you invest. I was like, well, that was my expectation anyway, so I don't really mind if I lose. I mean, I might, but I mean, it's not like I was trying to figure out the rank ordered best way to invest money, and on that basis, chose space. Right. It's not like that's. I thought, wow.
You weren't looking at like money market bonds, AAA bonds, rocket company.
Like
you weren't like
do real estate. Invest in shoemaking, anything. And whoa, space is highest ROI. That is not what it wasn't the premise. I just thought that it was important that humanity expand beyond Earth, and we weren't doing that. So maybe there was something I could do to kind of spur that on.
You want to have like a good competitive forcing function so that you have to make the product better, or you'll lose. Like if you don't make the product better and improve the product for the end consumer, then that company should have relatively less prosperity compared to a company that makes better products. Now the car industry, is actually pretty competitive, so that's good. But the good thing about a competitive industry is then if you make a product that's better, it's going to do better in the marketplace.
How much of your success do you attribute to having really audacious goals, or versus just not being focused on the short term, money coming in, or investors?
Unfortunately, one does have to be focused on the short term and money coming in when creating a company, because otherwise the company will die. So I think that a lot of times people think like creating a company is going to be fun. I would say it's not. It's really not that fun. I mean, there are periods of fun, and there are periods of where it's just awful. And particularly if you're the CEO of the company, you actually have a distillation of all the worst problems in the company. There's no point in spending your time on things that are going right. So you only spend your time on things that are going wrong. And there are things that are going wrong that other people can't take care of. So you have like the worst. You have a filter for the crappiest problem in the company. The most pernicious and painful problem. So I wouldn't say I think you have to feel quite compelled to do it. And have a fairly high pain threshold. And there's a friend of mine who says like starting a company is like staring into the abyss and eating glass. And there's some truth to that. The staring into the abyss part is that you're going to be constantly facing the extermination of the company. Because most startups fail. It's like 90%, arguably 99% of startups fail. So that's the staring into the abyss part. You're constantly saying, okay, if I don't get this right, the company will die. It can be quite stressful. And then the eating glass part is you've got to do you've got to do the problems. You got to work on the problems that the company needs you to work on, not the problems you want to work on. And so that's you end up working on problems that you'd really wish you weren't working on. And so that's the eating glass part. And that goes on for a long time. If you think like, what is education? Like, you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain. And it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education, because like it shouldn't be like this huge chore. So you're making it way better. But I mean, I think a lot of the things that I would say you've probably heard 100 times, and in fact are, if not doing, like the more you can gamify the process of learning, the better. Like for my kids, I do not have to encourage them to play video games.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to like pry them from their hands, like crack.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
It's like, drop that crack needle.
Yeah, yeah. You have that problem at your house too.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
The crack is addictive. Yeah.
So it's it's to the degree that you can make somehow learning like a game, that then it's better. And I think unfortunately, like a lot of education is very vaudevillian. You've got someone standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row, and they're not very excited about it. And that lack of enthusiasm, is conveyed to the students. That they're not very excited about it. They don't know why they're there. Like, why are we learning this stuff? We don't even know why. In fact, I think a lot of things people learn, probably there's no point in learning them. Because they never use them in the future.
Because who's going to launch a rocket into space? I mean, that's just like,
yeah,
exactly. That never happens.
Well, you have to say, like, people, I think, don't stand back and say, well, why are we teaching people these things? And we should tell them probably why we're teaching these things. Because a lot of kids just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there. And I think if you can explain the why of things, then that makes a huge difference to people's motivation.
Yeah.
Then they understand purpose.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty important.
I don't think everyone needs to go, try to solve like some big world-changing problem. I mean, I think that, like, I really think like we should just think like, are we doing something that's useful to the world? Like, if you're doing something useful, that's great. I just think that like just sort of a usefulness optimization is like, that's like a really good thing. If you've done something that's useful to your fellow human beings, you've done a really good thing, and people should feel proud of doing that. It doesn't always have to be something that's going to change the world. I mean, sometimes the world should just keep going in a particular direction.
Help the world.
Yeah, it might be going in the right direction, and I mean, in a lot of ways, the world is, and we are in great shape. In that, if you look at, say, violent crimes, per capita in the world, it's at an all-time low. We're actually quite prosperous, and compared to history, I think there's a lot of things to feel good about in terms of how the world is today. Access to information is incredible. I mean, anyone with like a $100 device has access to basically all the world's information, which is an incredible thing. So I honestly, I just think like the best thing for people to try to do is say like, hey, what is something that I can do that would really be useful to the world, and just do that, and it's great.
First of all, my goal is not disruption for the sake